I mean, yeah, I'm gonna have to go walk to the mailbox or something because somebody needs to see this beat. Hey y'all, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Faye, and for today's video, as you guys can see, we're gonna be testing out a bunch of new products. The Sephora sale is here, it's happening, it's in full swing, and all tiers are able to shop and get their discounts. So as promised, I wanted to make sure that I came back and did a try on of all of the new makeup products that I picked up, as well as some additional new products that I did not mention in my haul. And then I also have been trying out and wear testing some of these products over the past couple of days so that I can give you a little review and first impressions in case it's something that you're considering or it's on your wish list. So yeah, I don't want to spend a ton of time on the intro because you guys are here for the makeup, so let's go ahead and get into it. All right, y'all, so if you watched my haul, you know I picked up a couple of things online after I went in store. One of the things that I picked up are these limited edition lip balms from Edam. I believe that these are limited edition shades, but also the packaging is limited edition as well. So I picked up both of the ones available. One is like a chocolate brown shade, and then the other is like a beige tone. Both of them do have shimmer in them. So I am going to go ahead and apply one of them really quickly so that you guys don't have to look at my dry and ashy lips for the whole video. This is what the packaging looks like. On the website, it gives off like a more gold vibe, but in person, it's definitely more of like a bronze. If you're a sucker for packaging like I am, you will absolutely love these. So I'm gonna go in with the beigey toned one just to moisturize the lips while we do the rest of the face. If you haven't tried these lip balms, even if you don't pick up the limited edition one, I highly recommend that you try these. They feel so smooth and buttery on the lips. I cannot get enough. And it also says a lot that this has shimmer in it, and I don't feel the shimmer on the lips whatsoever. So we are really going to put the makeup on our face today. As I mentioned in my haul, I did pick up this new eyeshadow palette from Natasha Denona. I picked up the dramatic one, so this is what it looks like. The shades are literally giving me so much life, and I cannot wait to dip into this. So we're really about to take it back. I'm gonna prime the eyes, I'm gonna do eye tape, like all the things, and we're gonna do us a nice glam fall inspired eyeshadow look. So first I'm gonna go ahead and prime the lid. I just like to use concealer, so I'm gonna be using this one from Too Faced. This is the Born This Way sculpting concealer in the shade Sand. And then I'm also gonna go in with a translucent powder. This one is from Urban Decay. And I'm just gonna do a light layer of that to set it in place so that it doesn't crease. So I went ahead and added my eye tape. You can do this if you want, or you can skip it. And if you don't have a tape like this, you can just use like regular Scotch tape or whatever you have on hand. But let's go ahead and get into the palette. So I've been seeing everyone doing like the latte makeup, the toasty makeup, like those kind of fall makeup trends. So I think that's the inspiration that I'm gonna pull from because I think this palette just screams that vibe. So the first shade I'm gonna go in with is the shade Y3. This one is kind of like a medium neutral brown shade. I'm just gonna buff that in the crease as our transition shade. And then I do want to warm that up a little bit, so I'm gonna go in with the shade P1 and just buff that right on top. Okay, I like how that looks, and by the way, the matte shades are blending like butter, which I did not expect anything less. So next up, I'm gonna go in with the shade W3, which is kind of like a warm reddish brown shade, and I'm gonna apply that to the outer half of the lid and blend it slightly into the crease, but below the first two shades that we just applied. Okay, so now it's time for shimmer, and I'm kind of in between W2, Y2, and P2. So let's just swatch all of them so we can see what they look like. Okay, so first up is W2, which looks like that. Next up is Y2, which is more of a champagne shade. So it's giving like the first one is kind of like a warm, and the second one is more like a champagne. And then lastly is P2, which is gorgeous. And that one's giving like more of a peachy tone. So, ooh, I don't know. All of these are stunning. I really like P2, but I think I'm going to save that one for another look because it is a very peachy shade. I'm going to do W2 because I feel like it leans more warm, more brown, which is kind of what we're going for this like latte, toasty kind of makeup look. So I'm going to use a flat shader brush and go ahead and apply W2 all over the lid. Look how gorgeous that is on the eyes. And the more of it that you apply to the eyes, the more dimension it gives and the more beautiful it looks. Honestly, like that is stunning. So I did leave a little bit of space on the inner part of the lid. So I think I'm gonna go in with Y2 right there and just overlap it with the lid shade. Okay, just wow. That is gorgeous. So I do want to deepen up the outer portion of the lid a little bit. So I'm gonna go in with N1, which is basically like a deeper version of W3, but it's a little less warm and a little more neutral, but it's basically just like a deeper chocolate brown shade. And I'm gonna apply that on the outer V. Okay, and then last but not least, I'm gonna go back in with P1, which is that warm kind of orangey shade. And I'm just gonna apply a little bit of that between my brow bone and the top of that eyeshadow just to blend everything out. Okay, so I'm happy with how that looks so far. For my liner, I think I'm actually going to just do an eyeshadow liner. This is something that I really have enjoyed doing lately when I want to do a wing because I think it just is a softer version of eyeliner. And then also with eyeshadow, it's way less pressure because it's a little easier to work with and it doesn't have to be super, super perfect because the goal is for it to give like a smoky vibe anyway. So I'm just going to use an angled brush and go into the shade C3 and apply that on my lash line. And also, if you have hooded eyelids like I do, don't be afraid to lift your eyelid so you can get like as close to the lash line as possible. And then we're also going to use the black to do a little bit of a wing as well. Okay, this is how we're looking with the wing. This black is black, like possibly one of the deepest matte black eyeshadows that I own. Like it is very, very black, but it did that wing perfectly. So let's go ahead and remove the tape because my eyes are watering. Okay, and then this is how we are looking. This is why I love using tape on the eyes when I do eyeshadow because there's nothing to clean up. The lines are crisp and perfect, and we can go ahead and move on to the face. This look definitely requires a lash, so let me go find one and then I'll be back so that we can start on the complexion. Okay, lashes are on. I ended up going with the Kiss lashes in the style Pompadour. So that is these up here. I have some other random ones down here, but these right here are what they look like. I literally have not applied a strip lash and I don't even know how long. It's definitely giving drama. And it took me a minute to get them on because I was a little bit rusty, but we got them on. This is how the eyes are looking. So let's go ahead and move on to the face. The very first thing I'm gonna do is prime, of course. I'm going in with my Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Water Powder Serum, always. I did re-up on this while shopping the Sephora sale, so I should be good to go for the next couple of months, but I'm just going to apply this all over the face and blend it in. And you can see already how it has started to tone down the shine on the face a little bit. So the next one I'm gonna go in with is this one from Hourglass. This is the Vanish Airbrush Primer. With this dramatic eye, I'm definitely trying to give airbrush on the skin. So I'm just going to apply this all over the face as well. Okay, so the face is nice and prepped and mattified. I do have these new primers as well from Fenty Beauty. I picked up both of them. So one of them is a mattifying and blurring primer and one is a hydrating and plumping primer. I should have tried these, but I kind of want to save these to use with the Fenty foundation. So we'll try these in a video like later on, because today I actually want to show a new foundation that I have tried out a couple of times. This one is from Benefit. It's the Porefessional foundation. I've had this for a couple of weeks now because I did receive it in PR and I've been trying it out. And so far, I do kind of like it. So since we're trying out new products, I figured I would use this one today. So I have mine in the shade 27W. This is what it looks like if you're curious. A pretty thick formula, but nothing too crazy. And then what I typically like to do with all of my foundations is I will go in with the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Blurring Balm Powder in the shade number 7. And I just use this little concealer brush and pick up a little. Mine is so sad, but I do already have a backup because if you know, you know, I love this product. So I just pick up some of it and I just kind of apply a couple stripes of it on the face. So then once I apply whatever foundation I'm going to be wearing, it'll all mix together. So I'm going to take the same brush and apply the foundation on the skin right in between where we applied the Danessa Myricks product. And this shade is a little bit warm for me, which is another reason why I like to apply this to kind of even it out. The next shade up from this, or the next closest shade up from this, is a neutral shade, but I think it's a little bit too deep. So, you know, we're kind of making it work. But I do like the formula of the foundation itself. And then before I blend it in, I'm going to go in with a new product that I picked up during the sale. This is the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Liquid Blurring Balm. So I am someone that likes to use setting sprays throughout my makeup process. So I'm going to use this one today. And it does say on the directions to shake it up really well. So I'm going to do that and then spray it to the face. So this is what it looks like, a very nice kind of light to medium coverage. So I'm gonna go in with a little bit more on any areas where I want a little extra coverage and blend that in as well. So next up is concealer, and I do like to double conceal, just meaning I like to go in with like a color correcting, more skin tone concealer first, just to cover up any darkness or anything that I want to cover on the face, and then go in with a brightening concealer. So for that, I'm actually going to be using a mixture of this Too Faced Sculpting Concealer and the Benefit Bowing Concealer. The Benefit one is more of like a peachy tone. It's in the shade 2M02. And then the Too Faced one is in the shade Butterscotch, which has a warm undertone to it. So the both of those together will help to color correct the darkness that I have underneath my eyes as well as around my mouth. And a little of this goes a long way, so you really don't need a lot. Okay, complexion is looking pretty good, and if you're noticing the lighting changing throughout the video, it gets dark so much earlier now. It's not even that late, but it's dark outside, so yeah. But I feel like this is taking me back to when I first started filming YouTube videos. I would always film after work. This was back when I had to go in the office every day. I would always film after work, so it would always be dark, but here we are. So for concealer, I actually wanted to try out some new ones. LYS came out with these Bright Start Creamy Buildable Coverage Airbrush Concealers, and I wanted to try this out and see what they're giving. I have 3 shades. I have DG3 Golden Caramel, which is probably going to be a skin tone shade. I have TG5 Golden Beige, and then TN6 Honey. So let's open these up and swatch them and see which one would be best for a highlight shade underneath the eyes. So this is what the packaging looks like. You also can see the product on the inside. And I also love that the packaging of these reflects the color that's on the inside of the tube. So if you have them stored like in your drawer or something, you can know which one you're pulling out based on the color. The other cool thing about the packaging of these is it comes with this little like spongy tip for application. Can you guys see? Okay, there you go. Spongy tip, but you can take this off. Let me make sure I'm doing it right. Okay, so you actually twist the top, not pull it off, which is what I was trying to do. And then you also can just apply the product like this as well. This is such innovative packaging. I'm very much here for this. So for swatching purposes, I'm just going to twist it up. So this first one is TG5, which looks like this. So that definitely looks like a beautiful highlight shade to me. And then the next one we'll do is TN6. And to get the product up, you just twist it and then it comes right up. Okay, TN6 actually looks really good. This one right here, that actually looks basically like my complexion. And then last but not least, we have DN3, which I feel like is gonna be obviously a little bit deeper. Okay, so here is DN3 right here. which honestly, I feel like that could be like a summer shade for me. But all of these are great shades, especially for my complexion. But I think I'm gonna go in with the lightest one to highlight, which is TN6. And I'm gonna apply it with a little sponge tip just so we can see what that's giving. Okay, so this is what it looks like now that the product is starting to come through. So let's go ahead and apply to the under eyes. Okay, I literally just twisted up the wrong one. So I'm gonna apply, actually, I'm just gonna wait. I meant to do TG5, that's the lighter one. So let's twist this one up. This is the one we're gonna put on the inner portion of the eye. And this is definitely a different kind of shade for me for highlighting because I typically do like a more neutral shade. But I do like this applicator. And I think that this is meant to, like, you can apply it with the applicator, but you can also blend it out with the applicator. I'm gonna use my sponge to blend it out because that's just my preference. And then I'm gonna take TN6 and put that along the outer part just to help with blending. Okay, so we're gonna let that hang out on the face for a little bit while we do a little bit of cream bronzing. I'm gonna be using this one from Too Faced. If you know, you know. I have been using this down. I have mine in the shade Chocolate Caramel, and I'm just gonna apply it straight to the face and blend it out. So while we're blending, how are y'all doing? I know that there is a lot going on in the world right now, and I feel like we chat a lot in the comments, but I feel like I just need to check in with y'all a little bit. So if you feel comfortable, let me know down below. How are we feeling? Are we excited for the holiday season? Did we have a good summer? If you work, how's work going? Like all the things, how are we doing? Also, just out of curiosity, are you guys shopping the Sephora sale this year? Are you skipping it? Are you just kind of getting a few things? I'm just curious. I also saw that Ulta has been coming for Sephora's neck because they also came out with like a sale of their own where you could get 20% off. And I think theirs didn't have like a tier with it. So shout out to them. And we all know their points system is superior. So I'm just curious, like, are you guys shopping? Are you shopping Sephora? Are you shopping Ulta? Are you not shopping? Let me know in the comments because I'm nosy and I want to know. If you are shopping, what are you picking up? Like, what's on your wish list? What's in your cart? Because we do still have a couple more days to shop. So let me know if there's anything else I should add to my list. And then before we blend out the concealer, I'm gonna go in with my Rare Beauty Matte Bouncy Blush in the shade Worth. This is basically kind of like a burnt orange shade. In my opinion, I feel like this just screams fall. This is the one that I've been reaching for nonstop. I love how it applies to the skin and it's perfect, especially if you have oily or combination skin or you want to try like a cream product, but you want to make sure it's not going to emphasize your texture. This product is perfect, okay? Blush is on, and don't worry if you go a little overboard on the cream blush. That is the beauty of doing it before you blend out your concealer and before you apply your powders, because all of those additional layers will also help you blend it out. So to blend out my concealer, I'm going in with this new sponge that I got. This is from Sephora collection. I showed this to you guys in my haul. It feels nice and bouncy and soft. I'm just hoping that it blends as good as my DSMD shop sponge that I absolutely love. The textures feel similar, but this one definitely is much bigger when it's wet. So I do wish that this one was a little bit bigger, but nonetheless, let's go ahead and blend out the concealer. Okay, I do actually like how that blended out. My only caveat, like I already said, is that I wish the sponge itself was a little bit bigger. And I think that's just because I'm just used to using this one. But as far as the texture and the way that it blended out, I don't have any complaints. So I would definitely recommend this if you're looking for a new sponge. Also, that concealer blended out beautifully. I also like that it didn't dry down super fast, so I had time to blend out my bronzer and kind of chat it up with y'all without the product drying down. So really like that. I know I look crazy right now, but trust the process. So the next product that I picked up during the sale is this Givenchy Prism Libre 4 Color Press Powder. This is a mattifying and blurring setting powder. I got mine in the shade number 5. So in case you did not watch my haul, which I'll have it linked at the end of this because you should definitely check it out if you haven't watched it. But this is what the powder looks like. It has, is it even focused? Girl, get it together. Okay, there we go. So it has 4 different shades that you basically mix all together to set underneath your eyes. So I'm gonna use this first just to set everything down. And then I think I'm gonna bake with this because I wanna try this out as well. So I'm gonna use my Sephora Powder Puff, which is a little bit dirty because she's been being used. But you literally just swirl it around. And I have been using this. I've used it 2 or 3 times. So I'll just go ahead and say right off the bat, I do like this. The only thing I will say about this particular shade, if you're similar to my complexion, this is not going to be a brightening powder for you. So if you are planning to go in with like a loose powder to bake, then you can brighten then. But if you're just wanting to use this and you want something that's going to set and brighten at the same time, I would go up 1 shade. And I may even consider getting this in a lighter shade, which you guys will see in a second. But yeah, you just are going to swirl all the shades all together. And then I'm also going to blend out any lines underneath the eye and then go in and set. Okay, so this is how we are looking after just setting the face. I mean, you can see how beautiful the powder looks on the skin. The other thing I will mention about this powder before I forget is that it is scented. So if you are someone that does not like scented products, I just wanted to throw that out there as well. The scent doesn't bother me personally, but I know that is something that can irritate the skin for some people or just be an irritant. So I just wanted to mention that, but she looks flawless. All right, so now let's bake and try out this Sephora Blur It Loose Setting Powder. I picked mine up in the shade Brightening Banana. So hopefully this will give us that brightening effect that we are going for. Okay, so when you open it up, you get a cute little mini powder puff, which I may or may not use, honestly. And then it does have a cap, and then you open it and you have a little sifter, which hopefully this will not irritate me, because usually sifters can be hit or miss, but we'll leave it on for now and just see if it ends up being an issue. So I'm just gonna dip my powder puff again straight into this and apply it everywhere that we applied the concealer to bake. So this is how we're looking. I am happy that I decided to go with the banana shade and not the peach shade that I originally had in my cart, because I think the peach shade would have been too dark, especially since I'm wanting to use it to brighten. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill in my brows off camera, and then I'll be back so that we can finish up the face. Okay, brows are on, and I feel like this is when you can start to see the look really coming together, because the brows really just frame the face. So next I'm gonna go ahead and dust off the baking powder. I'm gonna be using this powder from LYS. This is the Soft Focus Skin Finishing Powder. I mentioned this to you guys. I don't remember what video it was, maybe my recommendations. But this one is in the shade Harmony, which is a medium shade. And I'm just gonna put a little bit of this on the brush and use it to dust off the excess powder. And then for the rest of the face, I'm gonna set with my Fenty foundation powder. I have mine in the shade 345. And shout out to the person that let me know in the comments on one of my previous videos that the reason that these have been marked down 50% is because they're being discontinued, which I cannot believe. Like, why she would discontinue this foundation powder is beyond me, because it is, I mean, it's so good. And what am I supposed to use when this is no longer available? And I didn't even get a backup because I didn't realize that she was discontinuing it. And so now I feel like I'm in shambles and very much not prepared. So I really hope that she plans to maybe bring it back or repackage it, or there's a reason why it's being discontinued, but it's gonna be relaunched, because this is easily my favorite foundation powder, and I don't know what I'm gonna do if it is truly being discontinued. Okay, next is bronzer. I'm gonna go in with this one from YSL. This is the All Hours Hyper Bronze in the shade number 4. Another product that I have been using nonstop. You can kind of see there is a little bit of a dent in it because I've been using it pretty much every single time that I do my makeup. So I'm just gonna go over all of the areas that we use the cream bronzer just to set and bring that color back. Okay, so next up is blush, and I'm actually gonna go in with a little bit of a mixture because I want to show you guys this one. This is the one that I picked up during the sale. This is the YSL Make Me Blush in the shade number 23. I believe it's Hot Mauve is the shade name. Absolutely stunning, but not really appropriate for this like toasty makeup look. But I did want to show you guys what it looked like. So I'm gonna start off with this, but then we're gonna go in with a more fall appropriate blush on top of it. Okay, so this is what it looks like, and as the name suggests, it literally is like a mauve shade. To me, this is like a perfect everyday shade, and I like it because it does lean slightly more on the cool side, which is perfect in my opinion for like the fall and winter months. But this is not giving toasty makeup. So we're actually gonna pull out a throwback. I'm gonna go into my MAC blush palette, and I'm gonna go into the shade Raisin, which is this one right here. I'm just gonna dip into this just a little bit because this blush is very pigmented, but this is gonna give us that toasty latte kind of makeup vibe that we're going for. So let's go ahead and finish up the eyes. I'm just gonna go in with a mixture of the shades that we use in the crease and on the outer V on my lash line. And I'm also gonna pop on a little bit of mascara and highlight the inner corner. And then for highlight, I'm gonna go in with this Hourglass palette. This one is from one of the previous years, I think either 1 or 2 years ago. But honestly, there's usually some level of similarity across these palettes, so you could probably find similar shades in this year's holiday palette if you're interested. But this is what it looks like. And I'm just gonna mix these top 2 highlighter shades on the end and apply those to the cheekbones. Okay, so now that the complexion is pretty much done, let's go ahead and set the face again. I'm going back in with the spray from Danessa Myricks. I'm gonna shake it up. And as you can hear, there is a little ball in here that is mixing it up. Always do a test spray and then go in and set your face. And don't be stingy either. I really love the mister on this because you can see like there aren't any dots on my face. It didn't mess up my makeup. Like it just sprays and sets flawlessly. And then I'm just gonna go back in with my powder puff in any areas that are a little bit shiny, which is always around my brows, in the middle of my brows. I'm just going to tap over those areas, a little on the cheeks, just right like close to the T-zone, on the nose. Then I always do one more pass underneath my contour just to clean that up a little bit. And then I go in with the brush that I use for my powder foundation. I'm not dipping back into it, but just with what is left. And then I just kind of go over everything. Okay, she's cute. So let's do the lip. So for the lip, you already know I'm going in with my Fenty lip liner in the shade Extra Thigh. This is a new one. My other one is like super, super small. I take that with me in my purse on the go. But this right here is my go-to. If you are looking for a lip liner that is gonna stay in place and you're similar to my complexion and you're looking for the perfect brown, I would definitely recommend this one. And then right on top of that, let's actually try out the chocolate shade of the new Edam lip balm, because I did try it out last night and it is indeed a chocolate tinted lip balm. So I want to show you guys what that looks like. Again, stunning packaging, the limited edition packaging. And I'm just going to apply that right on top of the lip liner. So you see how like chocolatey, it literally looks like hot chocolate in my opinion. Like, seriously? Get into it. And it does have a little bit of like rose gold shimmery reflex in it. Such a beautiful gloss. Okay, so let me go ahead and get myself together a little bit and then I'll come back and show you guys the final look and we'll debrief because we have lots to talk about. All right, y'all, I am back. I am put together and the face is eating. I looked at my face in the mirror when I went in the bathroom to change my shirt. The skin is giving filter in real life. I mean, get into it. So real quick, let's just have a little chit chat, go through the products that we tried and what we thought about them. So first things first, the Danessa Myricks eyeshadow palette. Absolutely. I had no doubt that I was going to absolutely love this, but this exceeded expectations. I mean, the proof is literally in the pudding. Look at my eyes. It's giving 2016 glam, and I'm very much here for it. Like, I'm loving seeing the girls getting back to actually putting that on your face. Like, yes, give us makeup, give us beat, like give it all to me. I am living for it, and I'm living for this look. Like I mentioned in my haul, it's been a minute since an eyeshadow palette actually made me excited, and this one did it for me. I think even more so because I have been wanting a palette from Natasha Denona for years, and every time that I would add one to the cart, for whatever reason, I couldn't bring myself to purchase it. But I am so glad that I pulled the trigger on this one this year, because I feel like it's giving me everything that I need and more in an eyeshadow palette. We have a black, we have shimmers, we have beautiful transition shades. Like, she really did what she needed to do on this palette. So if you have been thinking about it, just go ahead and put it in the cart and check out. Also, really love these. This is such an innovative product from LYS, these concealers. I love the packaging, I love the formula, I love the versatility, I love the shade. I was a little bit nervous about the warm highlight shade because, again, I normally use like a more neutral highlight shade, but it actually came out really good, really cute. I absolutely love these. I love how they felt underneath the eyes. I love how they blended out. I love that they didn't dry down super quickly, but they still gave me beautiful coverage. I love the shade range. Like, I have no notes, 10 out of 10. Also, this powder from Givenchy, another hit. I have been on the hunt for a minute for a pressed powder that I could use underneath the eyes and on my T-zone to set my makeup before I bake. And I really like this one. I mean, you can see underneath the eyes just look so smooth and flawless. And again, like I said, I have actually been using and testing this out before this video. I've used it about 2 or 3 times. I've worn it for over 8 hours, and it wears beautifully on the skin, beautifully underneath the eyes. I don't have any issues with my concealer creasing or anything like that. My only note would be, if you want to purchase this as like your main setting powder, if you want something brightening, I would go 1 shade up, but besides that, 10 out of 10. Also really love this setting powder from the Sephora collection. I feel like a lot of people sleep on Sephora collection, but they really have a lot of really great products. And by people, I mean me, because honestly, I don't really ever look at a ton of the makeup products from the Sephora collection, but I'm gonna be checking them out a little bit more, because every time I do actually try out a product from them, 9 times out of 10, I end up loving it. So if you're looking for a new setting powder and you want something that is a little bit more on the affordable side for products in Sephora, especially considering you can get 30% off, then I would definitely check out this powder and just other products from the brand in general. You guys already know how I feel about these Edam lip balms. Absolutely love the tinted shade. Now I'm kind of thinking that I want to get more of the tinted shades, because this chocolate brown gloss is eating. So yeah, I was gonna just be happy with my 2 shades, but I might have to go look and see what other tinted shades that they have, because the holiday set they had that I think came with like 5 different shades. It had a clear and then 5 different tinted shades. I think that sold out, but I'm gonna keep my eye out for that, because that would be a really great value to be able to get the tinted shades in a holiday set where you're actually saving some money. So I'll be on the lookout for that, but if it doesn't come back in stock, I may just look at the shades in general and just pick the ones that I think I would use the most. Also love this blending sponge from the Sephora collection as well. If you're looking for like an affordable makeup sponge, I would recommend that one. Again, my only note, which I did mention when I was using it, is that I wish it was a little bit bigger, but I do like the texture. I like how it blended out my concealer, so no notes there. Again, this new foundation from Benefit is one that I have had for a couple of weeks now, and I've worn a few times. Let me know if this is something that you're interested in or would like to see a full wear test, but so far I do actually really like this foundation. Also, most of y'all already know how I feel about the YSL blushes. 10 out of 10. This is actually my 4th full-size one that I have purchased with my own money. And then yeah, is that pretty much it? Oh, last but not least, this setting spray. So I did actually have to go into the office earlier today, and I wore this on my face to test it out, because I know a couple of you guys have been waiting to hear my review on this, because it's one of the things that is in your cart. Go ahead and pick it up. I had my makeup on today for over 8 hours, and it literally looked stunning when I came home and washed my face. And that was just with spraying this on at the very end of my makeup. I didn't even use it like throughout my makeup routine. I just sprayed it on at the end. So I can only imagine how much better it will hold up when I'm using it throughout my routine and setting my makeup at the end. So yeah, another banger, another 10 out of 10. But of course, y'all already know I did not expect anything less from Danessa Myricks. And yeah, I think that's pretty much everything new that I've tried. I'm looking on my desk trying to make sure that I didn't forget anything. I think that's everything. But of course, if you have any questions, let me know down below in the comments. I am literally obsessed with the way that my face looks, the way that my skin looks, how blurred out it looks. Like, this is the good stuff kids go for. So let me know what you think about this look down below in the comments. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed. And of course, you already know everything that I used throughout this video or that I mentioned, I will have listed and linked for you guys down below in the description box. So if you want to check out anything, be sure to just click on the links down below. And yeah, if you enjoyed the video and liked the way that the look came out, definitely be sure to give it a thumbs up down below. Also, let me know if you like this style of video. I'm sure that this one will be a little bit longer, but it's kind of just giving chill vibes, not in any rush, just playing in makeup like we're hanging out or on FaceTime. So let me know if you like the vibes. And also, if you made it all the way to the end of the video, be sure to leave this emoji down below in the comments so that I know we're locked in. So thank you so much again for watching, and I'll see you very soon in my next video.